everybody. Today we are going to crochet the weekend skirt. This skirt can be made in any size that we want. It is a very easy one row repeat. This skirt took me only a weekend to crochet and hence I decided to call it the weekend skirt. The length is adjustable, so you can make it a short skirt, a knee-length skirt or a full-length skirt, whatever you prefer. As you have seen, I have shown you pictures of the short one and I made mine a little bit longer. If you want the written pattern, you can grab it for free by signing up for the Let's All Crochet newsletter, and the link is in the description box below. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. To crochet this skirt, we are going to need the following material. So any weight 4 cotton yarn or any cotton mix yarn is also okay. So I have used 4 skeins and this is what I have left. So I'm just going to show you closely that this is the yarn that I have used, Lorraine Natural Cotton, and this is 85% cotton and 15% polyester, and 100 grams has 160 meters or 170 yards of yarn. And if you want the shade, this is the shade R098. So you can use any similar yarn, you don't need to use exactly the same yarn. This is the other material that we are going to require. We will need a 5mm or an 8 size crochet hook, a 4.5mm size crochet hook, scissors, measuring tape, some stitch markers and a tapestry needle. Now let's begin. So we are going to start with the ribbing at the waistband. I am going to start with the 4.5mm size crochet hook. I'm going to begin with the slip knot. I'm just going to take this and loop it over the 2 fingers and then bring this below the loop here. And I'm going to go below this loop, catch it in my hook. So we are going to begin with a chain 10. Remember, you can make the slip knot however you want. If you want this ribbing at the waist to be wider, you will just chain as much as you want. So I'm going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Row 1. We are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is our first chain and this is our second chain. So I'm going to insert my hook into the top loop like this, yarn over and pull through. I have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. So this is my first single crochet. Single crochet in the next chain. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops on a hook, yarn over and pull through both. Insert your hook into the next chain and single crochet. So in the same way, we are going to continue making single crochets in all the chains till the very end of the row. So I'll meet you once you finish. So if we count all the single crochet, we're going to have 9 in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now we're going to go to row 2. We're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. For the ribbing of the skirt, we're going to work in the back loop of all the stitches. So you can see there is a loop that faces us and a loop that faces away from us. So this loop that faces away from us is known as the back loop and we're only going to work into this loop for the ribbing of the skirt. So let's begin with row 2. The loop on the hook is not a stitch and this is the chain 1 stitch. So this is our very first single crochet and in the back loop of this very first single crochet you will insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. Now what we are going to do is we are going to make a small gap for our chain to fit through. So we are going to do this in every alternate row. So in the second row, in the fourth row and so on. So after the very first single crochet, I'm just going to chain 1. Now keep this chain loose, you don't want it to be tight. And then you're going to skip this very next stitch or this next V that you see and go to the next stitch. In this, into the back loop, just insert your hook and make a single crochet. So we have made a small gap for the chain to go through later once we finish our entire skirt. Now the chain will act as a tie at the waist. So now we are just going to continue making single crochets in all the back loops till the end of this row. So make sure you don't skip any stitches. And at the end of this row, we are going to have 8 single crochet because at the beginning here, we have made 1 chain. So I'm on my second last one. And I just want to show you the last single crochet. So this yarn is a little difficult to work with because all the strands tend to separate. So this is my very last single crochet. You can see it once you turn your work like this. Just turn and you can see it. On the side here, what we can see is our chain that we left at the beginning of row 1. So in this last stitch, into the back loop, insert your hook and make a single crochet. Just count your single crochets to make sure you have 8 and 1 chain here. Now we are going to go to row 3. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now row 3, we're just going to make single crochets in all the stitches. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is our chain 1. So from the back loop of this very first stitch, we're going to make 1 single crochet. In the back loop of the next 2. In the back loop next 3. And we're going to continue till the very last stitch. So I just want to show you the chain. So now I have reached this chain. So in the chain, there's a V on top. We're just going to insert a hook into the back loop and make a single crochet. And this is my very last single crochet. It may seem a little bit hidden. So you can just tug on this chain here to make it more visible. And now you can see the V. Insert your hook only into the back loop and make your very last single crochet. You will count your single crochets, and in this row you should have 9 in all. This is the end of row 3. Now for the rest of the ribbing, we are going to repeat row 2 and then row 3. Row 2 and then row 3. So one row with this chain 1 gap and then a normal single crochet row, and both are worked into the back loop only. Next you will repeat row 2 then row 3. So I will meet you once you finish this ribbing. So I'm just going to repeat row 2 with you once again. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, single crochet in the first stitch, and now right above where this chain 1 lies, we're going to make one more chain 1. We're going to chain 1, skip this next stitch here, and in the next, in the back loop, single crochet. So continue making a single crochet in all the back loops. So in the next row, we are going to make single crochets in all the stitches, and in this chain 1 into the back loop, we will also make a single crochet. Just continue repeating row 2 and row 3 for pattern till you have this entire ribbing. Now let me tell you what size your ribbing should be. So I'm really sorry for the bad drawing. As we all know, I don't draw very well. So just imagine that this is the human body, and this is where we are going to wear our skirt. So this is our waist. This is the widest part of our hip, and here we have our shoulder. So this is our torso. It narrows a bit and then it flares out for the hip. So the widest part of the hip is where our ribbing should fit. So you're going to take your ribbing, keep making it long enough, and then you will just wrap it around yourself at the widest part here, and you're going to stretch it out as much as possible. So just suppose this is your ribbing. I'm making mine. So you're going to stretch it. The ribbon is always stretchable. Just stretch it out and wrap it around yourself, and you want to stretch it as much as possible. So once you're sure that your ribbing fits around the widest part of your hips, you're going to stop making the ribbing, and later on this is going to sit at our waist, and we have left little gaps so that we can add a chain, so that we can tighten it so it fits nicely at our waist. So for this tutorial, I'm making a very small skirt. I've already made my full version, but I'm going to show you all the steps in exactly what to do. So once you finish your ribbing, you're going to now close it and form a round. So place your ribbing with the right side facing up. You will just see when you place your ribbing like this, the slip knot should be at the bottom left here, and you're going to end at row 3. So you have ended here near this where the chain 1 spaces. You're going to end at the same side. So now we're just going to fold it like this, fold our ribbing like this, and we're going to slip stitch across here. So we're going to begin with a chain 1. Now we are going to go into the first stitch on this side. This is the chain on the loop on the hook, that does not count as a stitch. This is our chain 1, does not count as a stitch. In this very first stitch, insert your hook below both the loops of the V, and in the very first chain that you see here, right after the slip knot, just insert your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through this stitch and pull through the loop on your hook. So it's a little difficult because all the strands are separating, I know. Let's do that once again. We're going to go to the next stitch below both the loops of the V, into the next chain that we see on this side, into this chain, yarn over, pull through the chain, pull through the stitch and pull through the loop on your hook. Into the next stitch, insert your hook, into the next chain, insert your hook, pull through both and pull through the loop on your hook. So it will become easier, and you're going to continue till you reach the end. I will meet you there. So I've finished all my slip stitches, and if we count our slip stitches, we are going to have exactly 9. So once we finish, we're just going to pull this loop out a little bit, and we're going to turn this inside out because we want the slip stitches to lie on the wrong side. Now that the slip stitches are on the wrong side, we're just going to insert a hook into this loop again and start crocheting the first round of our skirt. This first round is a double crochet round, and it must be a multiple of 12. So I'm going to show you how to do this as easily as possible, but for the shell pattern to work out easily, we want this first round of double crochets to be a multiple of 12. So what you can do is option number 1, you're going to chain 3 and just wing it, make a double crochet at the side of every single crochet row in the ribbing, and you're going to continue all around. Once you're close to the end, you're just going to count all your double crochets, then quickly see how many more you need to make sure you have a multiple of 12, and just add an extra few towards the end of the round. If you want to increase evenly or spread out your double crochets evenly, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Now this is very easy, don't worry at all. I'm going to tell you how to do it. First thing that you're going to do is, you can see these are my slip stitches here on the other side, on the inside. So I'm going to start counting from this very first ridge. 1, 2, 3. Just count all your ridges. 4. So count all your ridges. So once you reach the end and count the very last ridge, you're going to write the number down. So suppose I have 46 ridges. So I'm going to now multiply this by 2. So this is just double of 46, that is 92. Now I'm going to check if this number is a multiple of 12. This number is not a multiple of 12, but I know that 96 is a multiple of 12. This means I need to increase 4 times, because 96 minus 92 is 4. So I need to increase 4 times so that I have 96 stitches, which is a multiple of 12. I will show you one more example. So I'm going to make this example easier. Suppose you have 40 ridges. Now you're just going to multiply your ridges by 2. 80. So now you can make 80 double crochet if you make a double crochet in every single crochet row. So you have 80 double crochets, but you're going to need a multiple of 12. So the closest multiple of 12 is 84. You can check the multiples of 12 with the calculator or the 12 times table. So the closest multiple of 12 is 84. So you're just going to subtract 80 from this. This is the number that you're going to subtract, and you're going to have 4 left. And this is the number you will increase. You know how many stitches you have to increase? You can just place them evenly. So you place 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here. So if you don't want to do all this maths, it's okay. You can just wing it, start making the double crochets and just add an extra few increases towards the end of the round. They will even out later on. But if you want to be very particular about increasing at the right spaces, I would suggest you do this little bit of maths. I forgot to add this while I was making my skirt. So I want you to switch to the 5mm size hook now for all the rounds of the skirt. I have accidentally worked my mini skirt in the 4.5mm hook. You're not going to use this one. You're going to use the larger 5mm size hook for all the rounds of the skirt. So before you start working on round 1 of the skirt, you want to make sure the chain 1 spaces that we had left for the chain are on the opposite side. So that means if we are working on this side, making the round 1 of the skirt, the opposite side is where our chain 1 spaces must lie. So we are going to begin the round with the chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet at the start of every round. So now I'm going to make a double crochet at the side of every row. So we're going to yarn over, insert a hook at the side of the row, yarn over and then pull through. We have 3 loops on a hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We have 2 loops left on a hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through the last 2. Let's make a double crochet again. Yarn over, insert your hook at the side of the row, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on a hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And we have 2 loops left. We are going to yarn over and pull through the last 2. So now what I'm going to do is make 1 double crochet between the 2 ridges and 1 double crochet on the ridge itself. So you can see this is the ridge and I made a double crochet here. And then I'm going to make a double crochet between the 2 ridges here. And then 1 double crochet on the ridge itself. 1 double crochet between the ridges and 1 double crochet on the ridge itself. And now let me show you how to increase. Anytime you want to increase, you're going to make 2 double crochet at the side of this row. So yarn over, insert your hook, make your first double crochet. And we're going to yarn over, insert a hook into the same space and make 1 more double crochet at the side of this row. Let's do that again. So suppose we're going to increase again here. Insert your hook, double crochet and yarn over, insert your hook into the same row and double crochet again. So you're going to increase as many times as needed and I will meet you at the end of the round. Do not increase all together like I have right now. You're going to spread out your increases throughout as much as possible. Now I've reached the end of the round. I've made my last double crochet here and we're going to count all our double crochets and check that we have a multiple of 12. Now the easiest way to do this is keep counting 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now I'll start counting 12 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Start counting 12 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. So I have an exact multiple of 12. So you can just keep counting and if you have 1 double crochet extra or less, you can just adjust towards the end. You don't need to undo everything or just add a few extra double crochet if needed. So let's continue. We're going to end the round with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of this first chain 3. This is my first chain, this is my second chain and at the top we have a 3rd chain. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. Round 2, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. So this is going to count as our first double crochet. Now we begin our shell stitches. So we're going to skip this next 2 stitches and in the next stitch we're going to make a shell. Chain 3 counts as a stitch for this first stitch. Skip these 2 stitches and in this stitch we're going to make a shell. A shell is 3 double crochet, chain 2 and then 3 double crochet all in this stitch. Let's do it together. So yarn over, we're going to insert a hook and you're going to work below both the loops of the V for all the rounds of the skirt. Only the ribbing is worked in the back loop. So make your double crochet. This is 1 double crochet. We're going to go back to the same space, make 1 more double crochet. Make 1 more double crochet. Once we have 3 double crochet, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to go back to the same space and make 3 more double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. So we have finished our shell. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet all in this stitch. So after we make the shell, we are going to skip these next 2 stitches, and in the next stitch we will make a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch and make your double crochet. So the repeat for this round is very easy. After the double crochet, we're going to skip these 2 stitches, make a shell in the next stitch, then skip 2 stitches again and make a double crochet in the next stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do this once again. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, and in the next stitch we are going to make a shell stitch. So yarn over, in this stitch we're going to make 3 double crochet, 1, in the same stitch 2, in the same stitch 3, then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, going to go back to the same stitch, make 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So after we finish our shell, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches that we see, and in the next stitch we're going to make a double crochet. So be careful, you can see that we have worked in this stitch, skip the next and then make a double crochet. And you're going to continue repeating this pattern till the end of the round. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, then make a shell in the next stitch, skip the next 2 stitches and make a double crochet in the next stitch. So I will meet you at the end of this round. So once you reach the end of the round, after your last repeat, you will notice, see, I made a shell, I made my double crochet, and after this I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches left. After that we have our slip stitch. So after this double crochet, I'm going to skip 2 stitches and make a shell in this 3rd stitch. Shell is double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, double crochet and double crochet. So you can see now we have only 2 stitches left. There is no stitch here, there's a slip stitch, and we're just going to skip these 2 stitches and join by a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of this chain 3. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. Insert your hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over and pull through the loop on our hook. So now we are going to add 1 increase, and 1 increase is going to take us 3 rows to complete. So we finish row 1 and row 2. In row 3, 4 and 5 we will make our increase. Bring your stitch marker. We're just going to mark where we are going to make our increase. This is the very first side where our chain 3 lies. So when you place your skirt flat, place your chain 3 at one corner here, and on the opposite side, on this side, you're going to mark this double crochet with a stitch marker. So this is the double crochets between 2 shells, and if you count your shells, you're going to have the same number between this chain 3 and this stitch marker, and between the stitch marker and the chain 3. I have 3 shells on this side and 3 shells on this side. So make sure that you have the same number of shells between the chain 3 and the double crochet here. So the number of shells does not matter. You may have 8 shells on this side and 8 shells on this side, or 10 shells or 9 shells on this side and the same number on this other side. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our first double crochet and then a chain 2. Now we're going to go back into the same space and make 1 more double crochet. So just here, just insert your hook into the same space you see here and make a double crochet. So what we have made is a little V stitch actually, a double crochet, a chain 2 and a double crochet. So this is our first increase round and we have made a sort of increase here. I'm going to show you how to complete this in the next few rounds. So now we are going to skip the first 3 double crochet of the shell and just jump to this chain 2 space, and in this space we will make another shell. So in all the chain 2 spaces of the shells of the previous row we will make a shell. So a shell is 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So we have a shell above the shell. And now we are just going to skip the next 3 double crochets of the shell and jump to the double crochet after the shell. So skip all these 3 double crochet and you will see this double crochet here right after the shell. And in this double crochet, we are going to make a double crochet. We are working below both the loops of the V. After this double crochet, we see a shell. So in the center of the shell, we are going to make a shell. So in this space, make your shell. And once you finish the shell, you're going to jump to the double crochet and make a double crochet in it. So we're just going to continue in the same way all around. We're going to skip these 3 double crochets and in the chain 2 space of the shell, we will make a shell. Skip the next 3 double crochets and in the next double crochet, we will make a double crochet. So we're just going to continue doing this till we reach the stitch with the stitch marker. And in this stitch, we're going to work this differently. Because my skirt is really small, I have reached this right now. You're going to work this pattern till you reach the stitch marker. So I will meet you once you finish. So I'm just going to work this last part with you. I'm going to make the shell in the chain 2 space. And now I have reached my double crochet with a stitch marker. This is where we're going to increase. We're just going to remove the stitch marker. We're going to make a double crochet first. And you're going to add a stitch marker to the top of this double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And then we're going to make a double crochet in the same stitch. So this is our little increase. And now we're going to continue the pattern same as before. So I just want to tell you to move your stitch marker into this chain 2 space of the V before we continue. So shift your stitch marker from this double crochet into the chain 2 space. This is where we are going to increase in the next round. So you see the shell here. We are going to skip these first 3 double crochet, make a shell in the chain 2 space. Three double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet, all in the chain 2 space. And then we're going to skip these 3 double crochets of the shell, jump to the next double crochet here and make a double crochet in it. So we're going to make a double crochet in the double crochet and a shell in the chain 2 space of the shell, and just continue till you reach the very last shell. So once you reach the very last shell, you're going to make a shell in the chain 2 space and I will meet you there. So now I have reached the end of the round. I have made my very last shell in the last chain 2 space. Now you're going to skip the remaining 3 double crochet of the shell and come to this first chain 5. You're going to find the third chain 1, 2 and 3. Because this is the top of our first double crochet, we're going to slip stitch in this third chain. Just insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. Round 4, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So now we are going to jump to this chain 2 space and make a shell, but a smaller shell. So instead of 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, we're going to make 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So we're going to make a small shell first and a big shell in the next round. We started with the V, then we will make a baby shell and then a big shell. So after the chain 3, in the chain 2 space, we're going to make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to make 2 double crochets in the same space. So this is like a mini shell till we go to our next round. And in the next double crochet that we see here, so you can see this is the chain 2 space, and in this next double crochet you will make a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the double crochet, make a double crochet. So just both the sides are different. The rest of the round is going to remain like the previous round. Now we have reached a normal shell. We can see the 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So we're going to skip the 3 double crochet, and in this chain 2 we're going to make a shell which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. So you're going to jump over, skip these 3 double crochets of the shell, jump to the double crochets between the shell and make a double crochet in it. So make sure you make the shell in the chain 2 space of the previous shell. So the shell lies over the shell and the double crochet lies over the double crochet. So make a shell in this chain 2 space, a double crochet in the next double crochet, and you're going to continue till you reach your stitch marker, and I will meet you there. So I've made a shell in my chain 2 space, and next we have our double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet. So this is our little V. I'm going to remove the stitch marker, make a double crochet in this double crochet here. So we have made a shell in the chain 2 space of the shell, skip these 3 double crochet of the shell, made a double crochet in the double crochet of the V, make a double crochet in this chain 2 space, make one more double crochet. So we are making a mini shell now, then chain 2 and 2 double crochet, just like we did at the beginning of the round. So we have made a mini shell, 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, and in this next double crochet that we see here, we are going to make a double crochet. If you want, you can just mark this chain 2 space with a stitch marker, so you know that this is where you have increased. So once we have finished this V, now we are going to continue the round as normal. We are going to skip these 3 double crochet of the shell and make a shell in the chain 2 space. Shell is 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. And now we're going to make a double crochet in this double crochet. So you're just going to continue till the end of the round. Make a shell in the chain 2 space, a double crochet in the double crochet. I will meet you at the end of the round. So I've reached the end of the round now, made a shell in the last shell. So you can see 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space of this very last shell. And now we're going to join via slip stitch to the third chain of this first chain 3. Skip over the last 3 double crochet, find the third chain of the first chain 3, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. Round 5, we're going to chain 3. And now we're going to jump to this chain 2 space that we see here and make a shell in it. In this round, we're going to have all normal shells and normal double crochets. So in the shell, we're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And then we're going to make a double crochet in this double crochet that we see here. So you're going to just skip these 2 double crochet, and in this third double crochet, you're going to make a double crochet. So we started with the chain 3. We skipped these 2 double crochet, made a shell, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space. Then we skipped these 2 double crochet and made a double crochet in the next double crochet. And now we're just going to continue our shell pattern as normal. We're going to skip over all these 3 double crochet, make a shell here. So that's 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Double crochet in the next double crochet. So now we're just going to continue working the pattern of shell in the chain 2 space, double crochet in the double crochet till we reach the stitch marker or this shell with the stitch marker here. I will meet you there. So we're just going to work this entire part differently. I've removed my stitch marker from this chain 2 space here, and in this previous shell I've made a shell already. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space. We're going to skip these 3 double crochets of the shell, we can see, because they lie in this chain 2 space. Now we're going to come to this next double crochet and we're going to make a double crochet in this next double crochet. Now we have our mini shell, which is our 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So in the chain 2 space of the mini shell, we are going to make a big shell. We're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. After this, we're going to skip the next 2 double crochet and make a double crochet in this next double crochet that we see here. So once we finish this, we're going to continue the pattern as normal. Make a shell in the chain 2 space of the shell, make a double crochet in the double crochet, a shell in the chain 2 space of the shell, a double crochet in the double crochet, and continue till the end of the round, and I will meet you there. So I've reached the end of the round, made a shell in the chain 2 space of the very last shell. We're going to skip the last 3 double crochets and find the first chain 3, find the third chain 1, 2, 3 and slip stitch in the third chain. This is the end of round 5. So I just want to show you the increase that we have just made in round 3, 4 and 5. And now the next round will be worked as normal. So I will show you round 6. So this is the round after the increases. This is a normal round, no increases. Chain 3. Now we're just going to skip over the 3 double crochets that we see here of the shell and come to the chain 2 space. Make a shell in the chain 2 space. That's 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Now we're going to make a double crochet in the next double crochet. And this is what we're going to do throughout this round. Make a shell in the chain 2 space, a double crochet in the double crochet. Make a shell in the chain 2 space and a double crochet in the double crochet. So continue till the end of the round and I will meet you there. So I've reached the end of the round, made a shell in the last chain 2 space joined by a slip stitch to the third chain of the first chain 3. And this is the end of round 6. So from now on, we are just going to repeat round 6 as many times as needed till we have the entire length of our skirt. So just start with the chain 3, make a shell in the chain 2 space, double crochet in the double crochet, shell in the chain 2 space, double crochet in the double crochet all around and end the round by a slip stitch to the third chain of the chain 3. Repeat this round as many times as needed. So you can make this knee length or whatever length you want, full length, a mini skirt, whatever you prefer. So at this point, after all these rounds, I would suggest you just wear your skirt and check the fit at the widest part of your hips. If you think you need to add more increases, you can add more increases, or you can continue just like me without any increases. Just repeat round 6. Just keep wearing your skirt and you will know what to do. So I'm not going to make my skirt wider than this. Obviously this is my mini skirt, but in my large skirt I have made only one increase. But if you feel you need more increases for this to fit around your hips, you can just add as many increases as you want. To add an increase, you will do it the same way. So this is where your chain 3 is at the beginning of the round, and on the other side you will just add your stitch marker in the stitch. Then you're going to repeat round 3, 4 and 5 as many times as you want till your skirt is as wide as you want. So I'm just going to continue repeating round 6 till I have my entire length, and I will meet you once I finish. We will make the chain next. So to make the chain, we are going to begin with a slip knot. And we are going to make this with the 4.5mm size hook. Continue chaining 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to keep chaining till the size of the chain is our waist plus about 10 to 12 inches. So make it 10 to 12 inches more than your waist. Just measure with a measuring tape, and then you're going to make this chain 10 to 12 inches more than the size of your waist. So I will meet you once you finish making this chain. So I finished making my chain. Now at this point you don't want to cut the yarn. Just pull out a little bit of a loop, and you're going to take this tail end here, take a needle, and you're going to bring your skirt. So this is my skirt, and we want the increases to lie towards the side. So make sure your increases lie towards the side, and you want to find the center of your skirt. And here you're just going to insert your needle in like this into the chain 2 space and come out from the next space. Insert your needle into the next chain 2 space and come out from the next. Insert your needle into the next chain 2 space and come out from the next. So you're going to continue doing this. Pull your chain. You're going to continue doing this all around till you reach the end of the round here. So you may have to tug a little bit. Just keep doing this till you reach the end of the round. So I will meet you once you finish. So what you're going to do is now you're going to wear this skirt. Once you wear it, you're going to tug on the ties and then you're going to make a knot. Remember to remove the needle. Okay, then you're going to make a knot. Now you're going to check the fit. If you're happy with the size of the chain, you're just going to cut off this yarn and pull out this loop. Later, we can attach tassels to this end. So you're going to confirm the size of your chain, and if you're not satisfied, you can always just continue to add more chains or remove chains or whatever you want. But once you cut off the yarn, you cannot do that. So in this video, I'm not going to make the tassels and attach them to the chains here, but in my moonflower vest, I have gone step by step how to make the tassels and how to attach them to these chains. I'm going to leave the video in the description box below. If you follow it exactly, you're going to have no trouble. You can just attach your tassels to the tail ends here. Thank you so much for watching. Please grab the written pattern download from the description box below after signing up for the Let's All Crochet newsletter. See you next time.